All right, no headphones, please. Unless you're listening to my favorite artist, Little Quiz. Because we're having a little quiz tomorrow. All right, what is it? Quiz, Friday, 25th, right? All right, everyone looking up here? You got headphones. Okay. So, this, and this are due. Make sure you turn them in. Today we're going to write point slope form from tables. I'll show you. And make sure for Wednesday you wrote sub. Today's not Wednesday, right? I know we didn't have a warm-up yesterday because I wasn't here, but write sub so it's not blank. And then today, here we go. So, do you remember what point slope form is? You should have notes on it, and you kind of want to memorize it, but here it is. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Does that look familiar? Hopefully, right? Everyone's looking over here. So, when you have a graph, this is what yesterday was all about. Hopefully you saw these little notes here or on Google Classroom. But you need to do two things. Find the m and find your x1, y1 point, right? So first let's find m. To find m, on my graph, I need 2 points on the grid. I start on the left. I rise 2. I run 1. So 2 over 1 equals 2. My slope, 2 over 1, is 2. Okay, so I found slope on my graph. Okay. And then I can take any point on this graph and plug it into point slope form. So I like to pick the one on the left. Okay, I'm telling you, you're going to see a problem like this on your unit test and on possibly your quiz tomorrow. So you got to know how to just find point slope. Now, this point that I'm drew an arrow here, this is 0, -2. Okay, so all I got to do is plug into this point slope form, this slope, and this x1, y1. So let's do that. Y minus y1 is -2 equals m 2 parentheses x minus x1, which is 0. Now, you'll remember, hopefully, that this is not the best way to write it because don't we know minus a negative is the same thing as a plus? It's a double negative. Like I did not get you brownies. Did I give y'all brownies? No? I did? Oh. Everyone enjoyed that, right? Did anybody not get brownies in this class? Just gotta make sure. You didn't get brownies? Oh, I got brownies for you then. You gotta be ready for those brownies. You gotta be ready. Hey, you gotta be ready for those brownies. Right? I don't want anyone to feel left out. Everyone gets brownies. All your phones. All right, I'll quit joking around. Here's a real one. Okay? Anyways, back on track. So minus a negative we know is a plus sign, so y plus 2 equals 2. And remember, x minus 0, we don't write that. We just write x. And if it's just x, you don't need the parentheses. So just 2x. All right, let's do these notes real quick. Little notes. You got 2? You got 2 more? All right, here we go. Here we go. Now these notes might look similar to when we did point slope from graphs. The only thing different is tables. So same idea. If you're given a point, if you have more than one point, you pick one point and you have to find the slope from the table, and then you can just write it into point slope form. That's pretty much it. So we know point slope form, like our warm-up today. So look at step one. What do? Pick a point. You don't have to pick the first one, but might as well, right? So the point is -1, 4. That's my first point. Now, step two, this is where we got to remember stuff we've done before. It wasn't like this 9 weeks, but it was last 9 weeks near the end. So recently we did this, okay? How do I find slope from a table? Let me remind you, the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so how do you do that on a table? Well, look, x1, y1, x2, y2. So if those are my x1, y1, x2, y2, this is what it looks like. Y'all remember the bird beak? Bottom minus top on the y, and then bottom minus top on the x, okay? So bottom minus top, so 6 minus 4 on top over 2 minus -1 on the bottom. Can you reduce that, simplify that? Either do it mentally or, my preference, use Desmos to help you make sure you have the right stuff, okay? All right, so you can go in here. First, if you just press divide, it'll give you the bar, 6 minus 4 on top, 2 minus -1 on the bottom. I don't want you to write 0.666666667. I want you to click this fraction button, right? So don't forget to click the fraction button per problem. All right, and we get what? 2 over 3. That's my slope, 2 over 3. So I got my point, I got my slope. This is x1, y1 of my point. This is my m of my slope. And now you can see how they put it in here. Notice how they put this formula right here. They replaced x1 with -1. They replaced y1 with 4. And then they replaced m with 2/3. The only extra thing they had to do, minus a negative, we know is a plus sign. So that was it. There is no extra step there, okay? Leave it as point slope formula. Oh, I meant to say on the warm-up, sorry to bring it back to the warm-up, we're going to start doing this here soon, but what if we wanted slope-intercept form? Remember, slope-intercept is y equals. If I want y equals, don't I just get rid of this plus 2? And they don't combine because they're not like terms. So I know that was back to the warm-up, but I'm just telling you, in the future, we're going to make sure we get y equals, okay? We've kind of done it before. But for today, on your notes, if I can click, hello, say that again. It's okay. Whatever you have on the warm-up is fine. I meant to show you that. But here we go. So I'm going to show you example 1 on the notes. We'll do example 2. You try 3, go over it, and then we'll give you an assignment. Here we go. Example 1. Y'all ready? All right. I need a point. So you could. My pen is failing me, which is cool. Not. There we go. All right, so a point I have is right here. Cool. So -5, -8, that'll work. And then slope. Now, please remember, slope is change in y over change in x. I see people putting the wrong thing on top and bottom, okay? It's the y on top because y is rise, up and down. Y-axis is rise, and then you run on the bottom, which is left and right x. Okay, so bird beaks, bottom minus top. 4 minus -8. And then on the x side, bottom minus top, -1 minus -5. Can you type that in to Desmos? Click divide, 4 minus -8. On the bottom, -1 minus -5. It gives me a whole 3. So equals 3. So I have x1, y1, and now I have m. Can you plug that into point slope formula like we did before? Here we go. Y minus y1 is -8 equals m, which is 3, x minus x1 is -5. That's not the best way to write it because remember, minus a negative is a plus. So it's really just y plus 8 equals 3x plus 5. If you want to skip that middle step because you know minus a negative is plus, that's fine. I just don't want you to forget. Does anyone still need example 1? Flip it over. Example 2. Anyone still need this? All right, example 2. So pick a point. There it is. -8, -1. Slope. How do I find slope? Remember, it's change in y over change in x. So the y side, bottom minus top. -6 minus -1. And then the left, the x side, bottom minus top. -5 minus -8. All right. -6 minus -1 divided by, bro. When you get a decimal, click the fraction button, right? And we got -5/3. All right. So now I have x1, y1, and m. So y minus -1 equals -5/3, x minus -8. And we know minus a negative means plus. Okay, so example 3, I want you to try on your own and see if we get the same answer. So I'm going to give you a literal 1 minute, 60-second time to see if you can finish one problem in 60 seconds. Let's start the clock and see if you can do example 3 in 1 minute. Example 3. Where's my point? Why not? 0, negative 10. What's my slope? Bottom minus top. Negative 7 minus negative 10. Bottom minus top on the x, 1 minus 0. Negative 7 minus negative 10 is 3. 1 minus 0 is 1. That's 3. I got x1, y1, and m. So y minus negative 10 is plus 10 equals 3. X minus 0 is just x. And that's it. So I'm going to give you some practice to do. You can knock that out. Don't forget about these 3 assignments. Quiz tomorrow, so please be ready. Here we go.